Hey everybody, Robert Hurd, General Manager here at Porsche Center Kelowna. Welcome back for another edition of Inside the Dream. Today I'm sitting down with Jonathan Saylor, our Gold Certified Technician here at Porsche Center Kelowna and our shop foreman. Jonathan, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I start every podcast off asking, what is your first memory of Porsche?
Well, I think I'm going to have to go back to one of my early apprenticeship jobs. Maybe first memory, maybe because it was traumatizing, but that would probably be a 996 convertible that was leaking. So one of the first introductions with the brand was fixing a 911 convertible top.
That's always a fun place to start. Where were you working at the time? Was that here in the Okanagan or were you located elsewhere?
This was back in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Started my apprenticeship there, and moved through a few more Volkswagen specialty shops, but Porsche was always kind of the goal. That was the fast Volkswagen of the time. So that's where I started.
Well, we're lucky that you took that career path and it ended up here with us. You are a gold certified Porsche technician. You are 918 certified. You are electric certified. You have most of or all of the certifications that Porsche currently offers at a very high level, which is incredibly impressive. I don't know how many technicians have the ability to say that. So we're very, very lucky to have you here. You've joined us early 2019. Quite quickly, you became a real leader in the shop, both from a competency standpoint, but also just the energy and the team atmosphere that you've brought to it. Any moments that have stood out to you over another for your time here at Porsche Center Kelowna, whether it was a team thing or even a vehicle that you might have worked on?
Well, I mean, fairly recently, some very big highlights have been getting 918 certified and doing some major work on that. The other big highlights working with this team has been some of the track days and experiences, customer experiences, some of the just awesome events that have gone on here, and just the Porsche community, and just getting to be involved a little bit in that culture has been probably some of the biggest highlights I've had here, yeah.
What's it been like for you being such a major influence in some of our younger technicians? You know, Kewen stands out to me, one of our younger technicians, of course, Ben and Simon as well. How has that been for you to really share your knowledge, your passion for vehicles for the younger generation? Absolutely,
yeah. No, I always love being able to share and give some expertise and sometimes give a little push in the right direction to get people to grow and learn a particular method or tips and tricks, as well as maintaining my extremely high standard and expectations from everybody. I think everybody really sees the value in how hard we push for excellence here all the time, and I do feel that I contribute to that quality or that standard that we maintain.
I would agree that you heavily contribute to that in a very positive way. It's we run the shop a little bit different here. It's not about making time as it can be in some other shops. Our quality of work and how that end result is for our guests is really the only thing, or it's the first and foremost, it's the thing that matters most to us.
Absolutely.
Previous to coming here, and I do remember the story, it's been a while since we talked about it, you were like the highest level certification Audi technician prior to coming here.
So I have very similar certifications in the Audi world. I got to the diagnostic technician. So that's almost every course that you can take. Very similar to a gold level technician in Porsche world as well. So I was certified on the R8. I was HVT in Audi. So yeah, I was very accomplished in Audi as well, and it parallels the Porsche brand quite well. There's a lot of overlap in product knowledge, so works hand in hand quite well with Porsche.
Oh, that's fantastic. And during that time, I know you did you spent some time in the racing scene. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so moving out of Saskatchewan into Vancouver, followed the love of my life out there, and was pounding the pavement looking for a job to see if I could make it work in the big city. And ended up stumbling across a little performance shop in Kitsilano. And that shop was called MB Euro Motors, and they ran a semi-pro and as well pro racing drivers, mainly across the U.S. Their racing team name was Bullet Racing. I don't believe they're functioning in any capacity at the moment, but they always ran the Rolex series. They did some Pirelli World Challenge. Steve Paquette was the owner. He's was a quite accomplished pro driver, and then we would hire, sponsor, work with several other pro drivers, depending on what series we wanted to run.
So were you building the cars at the shop in Kitsilano, or were you building the cars as well as traveling to the different locations and being like a pit crew? What did that look like?
So yeah, they had a shop in Vancouver, and then they also had a shop in Auburn, Washington. I spent a lot of the time in the U.S. That's where they kept most of their Cup cars. So most of the Cup cars I would have had experience on would have been 996, 997. 991s were the brand new car, but most of the racing we did was actually in across the states. Our home track was the Ridge Motorsport Park, but then we also raced mainly testing at Mission Raceway.
Okay.
In just outside of Vancouver. Yeah, so for majority of the time, aside from Steve's business partner, which is Bernard Muller, a very big mentor of mine, obviously. Spent a lot of time with him. I was the only full-time hired mechanic, and I would be from ground zero to race day involved in whatever the building of the car, maintaining the car, whatever race repairs were required. So we would take a car, whether it was a Cup car or if it was, in our case, a lot of the times, a 987 Caymans. We raced a lot of those. If we took one from brand new and stripped it down, made it into a race car, I would have been involved in every part of the process.
Wow.
And again, working and learning with Bernie, whether that's building transmissions, whether it's tuning the cars on the dyno, whether it's fitting a roll cage, all that.
Whatever needed to be done,
whatever
you were
needed
part
to be
of
done,
doing
I was
it.
there. Yeah, the kind of party piece or the feather in my cap from that experience was going to the Rolex 24-hour race in Daytona.
Yep.
We ran the GX series in 2013, which the GX class was using a Cayman, and so what we were allowed to do was, I believe it was a GTX motor we were allowed to install, but it had to have an original Porsche gearbox in it. We were allowed to change gears and final drive, things like that. So that was kind of the weak point in the car, but we had to keep it within a street car class was kind of the whole point.
Interesting. Yeah, there's certain specifications that you have to hit.
So we ended up racing that year and finished in second place in the series. and that's a pretty core memory. There's so much work that went into that. Part of it was we would do drills and work on replacing parts in the pits and stuff. I think our time for replacing a complete transmission was about 45 minutes in the hot pits. I think we could change axles in, it was under 30 minutes.
Holy smokes.
And we would do the hot caliper replacements, so you could change your whole brake rotor caliper pads, and we could do that in the pits before the fuel was filled. So that's under 5 minutes. I think we were down to 2 minutes.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
we did a lot of practice, a lot of drill there.
And when did that end for you? What year did you stop doing the racing?
So after the 2013 Rolex, bullet racing wasn't able. The series was changing rules, and we weren't able to secure position in the next season.
Oh, okay.
Which was unfortunately kind of the beginning of the end of their pro racing
Endeavors.
It was just getting too unreasonable for a small Canadian homegrown team to keep that up. I stayed on with MB Euro Motors, and they were only in Canada. I stayed on to them till about 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was very beginning of 2015.
What an experience that is, and it's cool. It's funny, you mentioned the one gentleman's name that I can't remember, kind of how he was a mentor to you. And as you're saying that, it's funny for me to think about how you're mentoring the same young people. I always go back to Kewan only because he's our youngest guy, and he's just this young, super hungry, eager, excited car enthusiast.
Absolutely.
And now you've got this opportunity that he'll be one day talking about you and how much of an impact you've made on him. It'll be a different story, but it's going to be the same type of story for him, having somebody like yourself to have worked with. Thank you so much for sitting down. I know I kind of threw you on the spot, sitting down with me and doing this. We've talked about it for a bit. I can't say enough how much we appreciate you, everything that you do for us here, team-wise, mentor-wise, and just the high quality of work that you bring. Our reputation and how we support our guests is the number one thing, and you bring the highest level of professionalism to your craft of anybody that I've ever met. So we're very appreciative and lucky to have you. So thank you so much for everything you do.
Appreciate you saying all those nice things. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonathan.